We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully your day is going well. It is Saturday, and we're doing a TikTok live this time around. It's been a while since I've done one. Talked to my moderators, TJ and Rebecca. They're going to be here, so that helps out considerably. It's really difficult to do a TikTok live without a moderator. There's so many of these dumb, crazy fucking Trumplefucks jumping in very quickly and causing all kinds of problems. And we got shit to talk about. We got some serious shit to talk about. It's kind of interesting that Donald Trump is now burning down his own house, the Federalist Society, and Leonard Leo, the leader of the Federalist Society. See, the thing about it is that these are the people that pick out all of the Republicans' federal judges. Donald Trump did whatever they told them over the years. And now that he's getting some pushbacks by even from some of his appointees, he's blaming the Federalist. This is fucking awesome, because when they start fighting themselves, then things get going the right way. I'm going to pull in a couple of people here. And I will say this, when we do the TikTok lives, I have regular people on the panel, and we will do that here. But at the same time, we're going to give opportunities for people in the audience to step up and ask questions and make comments too. We've been very lucky in having people come up with some very interesting backgrounds, track records, questions, comments, perceptions. So we'll be expecting to hear from some of you out there too. So TJ and Rebecca, they're moderators, and they're also on the panel frequently when we're talking about these things. You guys have been on vacation for a while, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We were in Vegas for a week.
How do you do that? I mean, I stay in Vegas for 2-3 days, and I've had enough. A week, I don't know what would happen to me if I was there a full week.
Ask her, because it wasn't my idea.
Okay.
Well, we have some friends out there that we see, and we were there for like a 4-day concert, an almost 5-day concert. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. When you were in Vegas, were you able to keep up with all the ridiculous shit going on?
A little bit. Not
bit.
as much as I normally would consume it, but as much as
Sadly, we also had to work, which meant that we were up at like 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, fuck.
West Coast time.
Yeah. That's gotta suck. Well, you know the one story where the 3-judge panel said Donald Trump's tariffs are invalid. Then another federal court validated that decision, and then another federal court put a pause on the blockage, so the tariffs are still technically on. And Donald Trump wasn't too happy about it. And as I've said before, he's prone to burning every bridge and scorching every square inch of earth. Did you hear who he's mad at right now?
the Federalist Society.
The Federalist and the Leonard Leo.
Yeah.
These are the people that are some of the biggest backers of the Republican Party. They pick out all the federal judges. This shows that Donald Trump just gets emotional and he starts blaming anybody that's in his way. I don't think this one's going to fare too well for him.
No, it's gonna blow up in his face like every other stupid thing that he does. Those people have so much power and so much money. I mean, that's throwing yourself to the wolves, if you ask me. But you know.
Well, if his own people aren't going to be on his side, that doesn't bode too well for him going on and continuing to fail the way he has. I'm going to pull somebody up here real quick. We got a lot to talk about. We'll see what these folks have to say. The name here seems to be Great Looks, and I don't know if they're coming through. All right. Well, anyway, they if they want to do it, give us a try again. I don't know if that's a TikTok thing or if it's something where somebody didn't actually request to be on. But, you know, this is what I've always said about Donald Trump, that Donald Trump gets emotional, he reacts, he burns bridges, and then he has to go back and cover his ass somehow. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it with the Federalist Society. These guys take themselves pretty seriously.
Yeah, and probably a lot of them went to Harvard on top
Yeah,
of that.
right. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, no shit. Probably all of them went to Harvard.
Right, exactly. I
All
don't
right, I'm
know.
going to bring.
I don't
Go ahead.
I don't know how you could burn that kind of bridge and expect to come out on top. I just don't see it.
No, I don't. I don't see it either. And then, of course, today we heard that. We heard yesterday that Elon Musk was going to step aside from Doge. He was no longer going to be running Doge. That he's going to go back to his own companies. About fucking time. A little too late. But what I found interesting, Donald Trump brought him into the White House, into the Oval Office to give him a send off and said, oh, he's a great guy and he'll still be around. Yeah, no, he won't. He won't be around. But the interesting thing about this guy, two things we became aware of when he came out. First of all, he came to the meeting with a black eye. Now, he said he was wrestling around with little X, and that's how he got the black eye. Little X is a 4-year-old kid. I don't think he gave him a black eye. I think it's a baby mama that didn't get their check or an oligarch that's tired of watching their stocks tank. It's not surprising to me. Nobody likes Elon Musk, so he'll probably have a few other black eyes before it's done.
Yeah, it was probably a shareholder of Tesla.
I'm sure there's a lot that want to do it. But did you
No.
hear about the thing that New York Times came out with, though? There's this revealing story that he was on a massive amount of drugs during the time he was with Doge. We're talking about ecstasy. We're talking about ketamine. We're talking about Adderall. We're talking about a bunch of stuff. And doesn't that make you feel better? Here's a guy that knows nothing about government, goes in, rattles around in all these departments and all the computer systems. And if that weren't bad enough, apparently he was high as fuck at the same time.
Well, we know where you got all that energy on stage, then, I guess.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, no doubt.
No.
Sounds like the modern day Republican Party to me.
He looks like he's on a hardcore crash right now, though. Woo!
Yeah.
He looks rough.
He's definitely crashing out. Now, here's one other story. We're going to get into a lot of these stories as we go along. But, of course, Donald Trump has been pardoning a lot of people. He pardoned somebody who committed bank fraud. He's pardoned somebody who has committed tax fraud. He's pardoned somebody who was stealing money from Social Security. And the ironic thing is that all those things that these people committed are all things that Donald Trump committed. So apparently he's pardoning anybody that samesies with him. But he was asked a question, and somebody's got to talk to this motherfucker. Somebody, I don't know if they were doing it as a joke or what, but they said, so P. Diddy, would you be willing to look at that and pardoning him? First of all, he's not been convicted yet. Second of all, Donald Trump says, yeah, I'd look at it. I might consider pardoning him. What in the fuck? What makes you think that's a good thing to say?
Yeah, exactly. And JD just asked a really good question. What's the price? What's the going rate for a pardon these days? I think it's about $1 million in Trump crypto. I think that's the going rate.
Ask the Chrisleys. I'm sure they can tell you.
Yeah. Somebody probably
absolutely
paid on their behalf too. But, they're birds of a feather with Donald Trump. They committed fraud, and he's the master of that 34 times. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, but here's my thing. If he's willing to pardon P. Diddy after the video we've seen, the evidence we've heard, the witness testimony that we listened to, clearly this guy is a huge pile of shit. He is a monster, and he's committed atrocities against humans for decades. If he's willing to pardon P. Diddy from this, even consider it, it's not too big a leap to think that he was, in fact, buddies with Jeff Epstein, and that if Jeff Epstein would find himself alive today, he might even pardon Jeff Epstein today, because it's not much different than P. Diddy.
did you hear the nonsensical bullshit thing that Kash Patel said about the Epstein release?
No, go ahead.
I don't know what the quote was exactly, but I listened to it and I'm like, it was something to the effect of he doesn't want to release it too fast or something like. It was like the most bullshit reason why it's not being released. But we all know what the real reason is that it's not being released. It's because Donald Trump is in that file more than once.
And it's not just Donald Trump. There's a lot of other Republicans in there, and it's funny. Both Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have been getting shit about what they're doing, and the things that people are complaining about are the same things they said for the last 4 years. Why don't they release this? Why don't they do this? It's deep state. It's a cover-up. And now that they're sitting in the chairs, I don't know if you noticed it when you looked at them. They seem a little over their head. They seem a little nervous. They seem a little spent in that whole process.
Oh, they're flustered for sure, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Just like when Kash Patel testified in front of Congress, and they asked him where the budget was, and he looked like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah. Well, that and when they said, well, yeah, he did commit suicide, that fucking pissed off a lot of MAGA people because nobody believes that. And when their own guys get in there, well, I looked at the evidence, he committed suicide. No, he didn't.
Right.
No, he didn't.
Well, don't you?
Ridiculous.
There's no way in hell he committed suicide.
Don't you remember that it was Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton that got rid of Jeffrey Epstein? They killed him. That was what they were saying 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
If they had any control over that.
I'm going to pull some people up here. We've got some people we know and some people we don't. Let's see if this one comes through. The last two that I've tried. Okay, we have Coach Mox on the line with us. Thank you for checking in. And what's on your mind today, Coach?
How you guys been, man? I'm just trying to keep up with everything that's happening. That's a hard thing to do.
It's been a while. It's been a while, Coach.
Sorry, Coach. You made a sarcastic comment, and I almost blocked you till I saw who you are. Sorry.
No. Yeah, just on the Epstein thing. What are the chances that cameras don't work that night or they're doing maintenance? The whole story just smells of lies, and I mean we all know what happened. I mean and here's the thing: he's been in there 100 and some days. They haven't released it, and they're not going to release the files.
No, they're not. Mm-mm. Donald Trump's even said he's not sure he wants to. Everything else is fine, but not that one.
Exactly. And I mean, that tells you everything you need to know right there. The guy was best friends with him for 10 years or good friends with him. And he flew on his jet.
Yep.
The videos when you look at the videos of them together, it's just sickening. But with just Trump being who he is, and we've heard him bragging about what he could do to women because of who he was and this and that. Just too much looks like, like they say, walks like a chicken, acts like a chicken, he's a chicken.
Right.
Well, now we found out this week he is a chicken.
Taco.
That's true. Chicken just came out naturally. I didn't even mean to.
Well, and after the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell got convicted, and they released the all the documents from the trial, right. I went and I sought out that flight log.
Yep.
And Donald Trump's name is on there more than once.
Oh yeah.
I'm
quite
not
a few times.
It is. It's and what I don't understand is, I think that maybe the lady was using an alias name or they used it, but the whole Katie Johnson thing, I will never understand because the actual court filing is there. And there's two names that she filed against, and it's Jeffrey Epstein and it's Donald Trump. And this was back before anybody really even knew who Epstein was. And what are the odds of that? I just, again.
Well, I'm not going to go into details on TikTok anyways as to what happened with that complaint. It was a lawsuit. I'll just say that this Katie was alleged to be 13 years old when she had the problem with Epstein and Donald Trump. You can imagine what might be in that lawsuit. But it was there, it went away, and then it came back, and then it went away again. We know what Donald Trump is doing with judges right now, with intimidation tactics and that sort of thing. Wouldn't be surprising that that's what he's done with this Katie woman. And then you have the other woman that was a victim of Epstein, and she just recently passed away, allegedly at her own hand. And I have to question if that's even true. It's amazing how this works out so conveniently for people who are terrified. And the thing about it is, when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, we don't have to say that it's Donald Trump doing this. There's a lot of very wealthy, very powerful people that will get exposed. Any number of them could be responsible for what happened to Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
Absolutely, you're right. That's definitely a sensible way to look at it. It's just, man, you're right with how. I mean, with everything and anything he's ever gotten in trouble with, it's always intimidating judges and doing whatever he had to do to try to get out of what he was in court for.
Right.
Well, and the thing about it is, it's not even a coordinated thing. These people are so bought into Donald Trump, they're so far into this cult that they just naturally, if Donald Trump says anything weird, they go on the attack. Donald Trump doesn't even have to set it up. These people are so complicit and so compliant that they'll attack anybody if Donald Trump says he doesn't like them.
Right. Yep. And the whole cult, they would rather you talk about their mother
Yeah.
than talk
yeah.
about him.
Yeah.
And a reminder about the Epstein thing is that when Donald Trump got asked the question in that interview, point blank, about the releasing the Epstein files, his whole demeanor changed when he got asked that question. He said, "Well, I don't know. It might cause problems for people." Yeah, you motherfucker. That's who it's going to cause problems for.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. It's going to cause problems for people, and it should.
I used to think that all these people kowtowed to him because he's a blackmail freaking expert, and that's his whole gig is to blackmail everybody. But I'm starting to wonder, and how do I put this delicately, how many people are no longer here because of him?
Yeah, you wonder.
Yeah, you do.
If that is not the motivation.
Well, we know at least 750,000 COVID deaths
yeah, right.
can be attributed to him.
I mean, by his own
Directly.
commands.
Directly, yeah. Yeah.
He has to take some of the responsibility of USA being the
Oh, yeah. No question. And he'll pawn it off on somebody else, but he is responsible. It's like, not taking credit for the crash of the stock market, but it was all because of what he did with the tariffs. There was nothing else you could blame it on. But Donald Trump still continues to say, it's not me, it's somebody else. And unfortunately, there's a certain faction of this country that will believe anything he says, no matter how ridiculous.
Right. Let me ask you something, Boomer. You mentioned the tariffs. And, when we pay our federal tax, it ends up in the U.S. Treasury hands. And
Right.
these tariffs, all right, if we go to Walmart and there's a tariff on something and it increased the price, whatever that increase is, that's the tariff.
Right.
That tariff ends up in the U.S. Treasury Department. And
Right.
to me, all this tariff thing is another tax on the American people.
Well, that's exactly what it is. I think most financial experts that aren't Trump humpers will tell you it's nothing more than a tax. That's the only way you can describe it. It's not the cost of the product. It's over and above the cost of the product. We are paying it, so that's all it can be is a tax. It's a slippery way to con people into paying more taxes and make them think you're doing something good economically. And again, most people don't buy into it, but there's enough people that believe anything that Donald Trump says. But that's what it is. It's more taxes.
I was super excited when I read that Amazon was going to have a separate line item on their bills for the tariffs, and then they walked that
Yeah.
back, and I was like, oh, fuck. That would have been
Yeah.
freaking awesome, because that would have really, 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 really done it.
It's just amazing to me. Well, I guess it's not anymore, but that people don't understand that it's another tax. It's simple, and it has nothing to do with bringing jobs here or things like it. That's the most ridiculous thing you could talk about. It's about taxing the American people again. It's just another tax. Period.
After seeing what tariffs did to the economy, when the court said these aren't valid and to shut them down, part of me thought the Republicans might push Donald Trump just to lay back and accept it. Because, like I've said before, Barack Obama said this court may have just saved Donald Trump for himself.
Right.
I mean, you've tried it for a few months now, and it's working horribly. He won't come out and say I was wrong and we're going to do it differently. At least he could say, okay, we stopped because the courts made me those motherfuckers. But he didn't even take that opportunity. He, of course, appealed it again.
It's amazing. I honestly thought the same exact thing. I thought he would use that to be his excuse of getting out of it, and he didn't. He's just that dumb to fight it.
I wonder what you guys think about this. And this is probably a bad, what I'm going to say is people will disagree with me, but you got to hear me out on this. When they said they were going to take off the tariffs, I knew there was still some damage done and we were going to suffer through some things. But I was a little disappointed when that happened, because it would lessen the impact, the negative impact on Donald Trump. So when they said they are going to appeal it and set it on hold for a little while, I was a little happy about that, only because based on what we've seen up to this point, a vast, not a majority, but a large number of people in this country need to experience some kind of catastrophe before they'll buy into Donald Trump. And I saw it as if they stopped the tariffs now, it would just be a way to slip through another thing.
Yep.
Rebecca and I were just talking about that yesterday. Like, we were disappointed that, we agree with you 100% on that. These motherfuckers need to feel the pain before they understand what they've done. And if they stop these tariffs, it's going to slow that from happening. I mean, it's not going to slow it completely, but blanketed tariffs on everything is going to drive up the prices on consumers, and that's the lion's share of the economy is driven by the American consumer. So if prices go up, because Walmart already said they're going to raise prices because of the tariffs,
Right.
and if the prices go up, there's less money for regular middle class people and people in poverty to spend in the economy, and it'll ultimately affect the economy. So
Absolutely.
we agree with you on that one. I mean, I want them to feel the pain. I know it's going to hurt for all of us, but it's the only way they're ever going to get it, man.
Yeah.
You're right. And the thing is, too, with this, his whole deal with the pause, back on, he is in this for himself, period. And he's manipulated it and made money. And that's all these tariffs, in the end, are to enrich him, and then also to bring money, just to tax us again, like I said before. And I am with you. They do need to feel the pain.
He literally does nothing that does not benefit him. To the
Right.
detriment of everybody, which is awesome. I mean, go ahead and do that, because that's how they're going to see it. But still,
When Donald Trump has been doing this, dicking around with the tariffs, taking them off, putting them on, taking them off, what people fail to remember, at least Republicans, is every time you do that, you're dicking with somebody's life. You may be ruining somebody's life. So when I say something like, I hope it crashes, so he gets burned on it, people say, yeah, but what about the other people that are going to get hurt? And I understand that, but here's the deal. people are going to get hurt regardless.
Yep.
My point is, if we do it quickly, we can get back on track quicker. The crash or the calamities inevitable. So let's get it done and let's move on. That's what I'm saying.
There's
Exactly.
a few people in the chat talking about insider trading or talking about
Yeah.
the stock market crashing and people are like buying stock. You know what? Motherfuckers, everybody fucking buy stock. Everybody buy fucking stock if you can afford to do it. Because you know what? Why shouldn't we capitalize on this bullshit too? Like
Yeah.
I'm not a better person. I'm not above that shit. If I can if that's the way I'm coming out of this alive.
Right. Well,
If they can do it, why can't we? Like look at
this-
GameStop. Look at what GameStop freaking did.
Right.
Like
Well, the unfortunate thing is that the stay on stopping the tariffs rallied the market, and
Right.
it's because Wall Street's laughing about it, is basically what that means. You know, they're saying that, you know, they have stability, at least for now, so it rallied the
Right.
market. But you know, again, like we had mentioned in the previous minutes, it'd be better for people who don't understand what's going on for these things to actually move forward to make them feel the real gravity of what's happening here.
Well, but then he comes out and Donald Trump says we're going to add 50% tariffs on all steel and aluminum. That doesn't help things. And then he claims that China violated their deal. They didn't have a deal. They were on a pause for 90 days. But he says they violated them. And you know what he's angry about in this? He's angry that they haven't loosened up on the rare earth minerals that they had been sending us, and they
Right.
shut it off. So
Yep.
he's mad that they aren't sending it back to him. Donnie, remember why they shut him off? Because you put fucking 145% tariffs on it. You fucked it up and you messed it up, and now you're upset that they won't just say, "Okay, Donnie, we forgive you. We'll start sending it now." I'm convinced China has spent decades trying to figure out how to come in and undermine our economy, and now they got a fucking open door and an invitation. They're going to take it.
Oh yeah, that's 100% true. Absolutely.
And you know, the other thing is this: every time he's threatened China with these ridiculous tariffs, they have made deals with other countries now.
Yep.
Now Brazil will send them, you know, soybean, and all he's doing is hurting the American, you know, the farmer or a manufacturer here. It's just it's so insane to me. And
Yeah,
reckless.
it is pretty stupid. It's pretty stupid. Well, Coach Mox, thank you for coming on. I'm going to get a bunch of other people on.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. If you don't follow Coach Mox on TikTok, you should. He's got a great account, and he's got some valuable information. That's why we brought him up here, because he knows his shit. He's a reasonable mind, and he isn't running around like his hair is on fire. He keeps it calm and cool and just tells you what's up.
thanks,
a lot.
Coach. I'm sorry for almost blocking you.
No problem. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. Boom.
All right.
See you.
We'll talk to you soon.
How about Mike Johnson going on TV and saying it's okay for Donald Trump to commit crimes because he's doing it in public?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And, you know, that's been his case all along, is that
You know what? Democrats did that once too. Democrats came out and said, there were Democrats that came out and said, "Oh, it's okay that Bill Clinton cheated because that just makes him a real person." You know what?
yeah,
Wrong is wrong, motherfuckers.
Wrong.
Sorry.
wrong is wrong. We have Will with us now. Seems like we just talked, Will. Yesterday on today's podcast, Will is the guest, and I knew you had to have some thoughts about the things we're talking about. So
Will talked.
welcome.
Will's the reason why your voice is good today.
Yeah, it is. What you know, Will's not coming through here. I'm not sure what's going on. That's weird. We'll try it again in a minute. It was just buffering. I don't know if that's TikTok or whoever. Let me hit somebody else up here. All right. We'll see if we get this person. This person's name is Shelly Sofer. Shelly, how you doing? What's on your mind? Hello, Shelley. Well, we got some shy motherfuckers out here today. All right, we'll let Shelley go, and we'll.
While we're in between, I have a fuck around and find out moment report.
Okay.
So, and I told you about this, but I'm going to bring it up. I told you in a text. So Rebecca and I were in Las Vegas, and we went to visit friends, but the sole reason we went to go to Vegas was we go to a concert called Punk Rock Bowling.
Yeah.
And so it was a great time. We had a great time. We were there. And this idiot showed up. Well, this Yahtzee showed up with a double S t-shirt.
Yeah.
And he fucked around and found out. He learned about full contact sports at this thing.
Yeah, you sent me a video, and those cowardly libtards weren't too friendly to him.
No,
he took a couple shots.
I'm surprised he didn't leave on a stretcher, to be honest with you. But we were actually there, but we were around the corner, so we didn't see it.
We didn't see it. We were there.
Well, the video I saw when he got pushed, he didn't get pushed that hard, but he went flat on his back. He needs to work on his center of gravity because it's not in the right spot.
There were like people like took that video and screenshotted that moment when there was a black gentleman who punched him square in the freaking jaw, and they screenshotted where he hit his jaw.
Wow. Yeah. It was kind of funny. You know, it's the typical gravy seal thing. These big guys that are just fat. I think they're tough, and then when somebody twists them around a little bit, they don't know what to do. They're spinning around.
The memes that have been generated by that thing it's hilarious.
We're obviously on a lot of those like punk rock pages, and even like other music pages like posted that video, and that just like in support. There were no negative comments whatsoever. Like everybody was like,
if anyone wants to see the video, search Punk Rock Bowling 2025 Yahtzee Punch, and you'll see it.
Just SS. That's all you have to say.
It made the national news too. People were talking about it. Now this next person, I'm pretty sure, will show up. It's been a while since we heard from him.
Mr. Suave.
Mr. Suave de Boner, and that's the correct pronunciation. We clarified that. Suave, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, guys? Anyway, today my subject would be the taco. Anyway, anybody think he's going to double down on that?
What do you mean?
Double down on his tariffs? Think he's going to be pissed off enough that we're calling him a taco that he's going to...
Oh, yeah, I do.
That?
Yeah, because he's stupid, of course.
Well,
I'm kind of hoping he does.
Was the executive order real? That it came out with the executive order that anybody like calls him says taco.
Is that
Well, I think that he is going to do that, and I'll tell you why. Because tonight, Rebecca and I were in Pittsburgh for a banquet dinner. And guess who else was in Pittsburgh tonight?
who?
Dirty diaper dipshit Donnie.
Oh, was he really?
And the reason why he was there, he's trying to prop up that deal that he made with Nippon Steel with U.S. Steel.
Oh, that's right. That's
so,
right.
in his performative bullshit speech, he said he's going to add another 25%. You know, the U.S. tariff on import steel is 25%. So he said he's going to add another 25% onto the tariffs. So I think that's part of him doubling down on, being a chicken taco. I think that's part of it because he is so pissed off about that people are. I mean, the internet is, the last 3 days have been exploding on that thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I think that that's the beginning of him having his tantrum about being called a chicken.
Yeah. I saw in his face, it reminded me of my father. When you said something to my father and he got mad, the skin on his face would move weird. His eyebrows would go back, his ears would change. You could see it. He's just trying to hold it in, and
Right.
I know that hit him hard. And there's going to be another meme down the road that's going to piss him off. I'm thinking we should combine memes and do 86 taco. That would double the fun there.
It's like
So-
we'll put that up tomorrow and see what happens.
That's a narcissist trait, by the way, because that's when they start seeing red.
Right. And that's
and
why
they're trying to control it, but they can't.
and that's why we can't let that thing die. We just got to keep riding that thing and riding it and riding it and riding it.
Yeah, the
I
more
went
you
to-
keep them going off the rails, the better off we're going to be.
Well, and that's what I've said all along with a narcissist. You can say he's a criminal, you can say he's dumb, and all that stuff. But when you impugn his toughness, his masculinity, or his intelligence, and you make fun of him, that is the most damaging thing you can do to Donald Trump. And we've seen it with this this chicken thing with Donald Trump. It's bugging the shit out of him, and I'm sure he's throwing ketchup and railing on people. So you're absolutely right. We need to keep this up. We need to keep it going longer and louder until we come up with something better, and something better will come up.
Yeah, and the AI images are amazing.
Oh, and his staff is totally, I mean, he was pissed at his staff because they didn't tell him about the taco thing. So he was like totally unaware. It's like, dude, you just like,
Well, they can't tell him because he can't view anything. They can't show him anything that shows him in a negative light because they'll be covered in ketchup immediately.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't think they don't like to tell him anything he doesn't want to hear.
Yes.
You know, when we went back to and that's right in line with a narcissistic father. That they're going to go off the rails, and you're a little kid, so you do everything to avoid it, lie to him, point him in a different direction. I did it a million times with my father when I was young, but when we sit down and we see he's being interviewed, and he brings up that picture of Abrega Garcia and the MS-13 tattoo on his fist, and it's fake, obviously, it's photoshopped or whatever they did to it, and Donald Trump held it up as if this was absolute proof, and the reporter said, "Yeah, that's been checked, that's been debunked, it's fake," and Donald Trump was just taken aback. I don't believe that he knew that it was fake. I don't believe that anybody around him told it was fake.
No, of course not.
No.
He was shocked by the fact that someone said that it was fake.
He believes
Absolutely.
everything he sees.
Well, and that's what they do. Anything that comes along that might support their stance or their point of view, they jump on it, whether it's true or not. And that's exactly what Donald Trump does.
I think we should start the new song. Chicken taco,
Yeah.
banana. Chicken taco, banana.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
already a lot of memes with Trump doing the chicken banana thing with Musk.
As soon as I heard about the chicken thing, I went to my AI and said, "Give me a picture of Donald Trump in a chicken suit." I got one. It was pretty cool. It was pretty funny. And I thought, well, I really got something now. Then I went to TikTok and saw 100 of them. So I wasn't really on top of things there. Other people had the same idea. And with AI, you can do fucking anything.
Right, and it was exploding, and that's why we got to keep on top of it to keep that thing going.
Yeah, exactly. Expand the joke.
I mean, there needs to be T-shirts. There's got to be poster boards. There's got to be billboards when he comes to
There
town.
will
Someone's
be. No doubt there will be.
Oh, I can't wait until, what is it? I guess his birthday is coming up.
Flag Day.
June 14th.
Yeah,
June
so all the
14th.
protests on his birthday. It's like, I wonder how many chicken suits we're going to see out there.
Well, Mr. Suave, you do know that the Pope is going to do a video at the White Sox game at the exact same time.
Well, it
Donald
just so
Trump.
happens. It
Right.
just so happens that this Pope with so many balls happens to be picking June 14th at whatever it is, 10:15 a.m. Chicago time.
I think that's
Well,
awesome.
I still think the best thing would be is if Taylor Swift and Bruce Springsteen did a free concert on the mall at the same time. We wouldn't have to protest because no one would show up at the parade. They'd be at the free concert.
JD Farmer said we should go to that parade in chicken suits. I guarantee people are going to do that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
That's an
no question
interesting
about it.
idea you had there, Mike. It might be worth putting it out there to see if we can make it happen.
I have put it out there. There's been some memes to that effect, but I don't have a direct line to Bruce or Taylor, so I don't know that I have any pull. I mean, I only have so many followers, and she has 1 billion more than I do, so I don't think she's listening to me. But if she really wanted to be a little petty, just put on a half-hour show right at the same time the parade's going on. I could see Bruce maybe doing it, because he'd just go out there with a fucking guitar and just play.
Right.
But whether they will or not, I don't know if they're concerned about security, or if they do it in D.C., is Donald Trump going to send the stormtroopers to the stage? Who the fuck knows?
Right. Well, and plus you'll have to get permits for something like that, and it might be short notice to even do that at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
within 2 weeks.
Depends on who's giving out the permits, how short that time is at this point.
Yeah. That's true.
That's a reality, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mr. Suave, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it. It's always good to hear from you.
Have a great night. See you around.
You too. Suave de Boner. People say you mispronounce.
No, sorry.
Go ahead.
Somebody said, Ralph Reynolds says, dress in cow suits holding signs that say eat more chicken.
Yeah, no shit. I like that. I like that.
Food trucks in the parade line. Oh my God, the comments are great tonight.
Yeah, every
Yeah,
taco truck in the fucking tri-state area should go down there.
Honestly, that's the best thing we can do is make fun of this guy.
Yeah.
That is the thing that's going to get to him more than anything. It's going to cause the problems amongst his own people. Like you say, he's mad now that they didn't tell him. What, are you going to tell Donald Trump that people call you chicken? That's like, fuck, kill the messenger. He'll kill the fucking messenger.
Nobody wants to be covered in that much ketchup. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed how many people have changed their names tonight? Like I saw somebody was Donald J. Taco.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments here. It is pretty amazing how
People are
people are
riled up
latching
tonight.
onto them. Well, yeah, somebody met Bren's here, and she was mentioning about Elon's black eye. And what I said, Bren, is he said it was little X that did it. They were wrestling around because he's such a good dad. I'm thinking it's more a baby mama that didn't get the check, or as TJ said, a stockholder of Tesla that's not exactly happy about their fucking money situation either. But, that's maybe what Elon needs to do is have a UFC fight against somebody to try to regain his brand. I just don't see him being able to do that. He can go back and run Tesla. That fucking thing's done. They're all done. SpaceX has had 3 failed missions in a row. I don't even know what XAI is doing. So Elon's in a little bit of trouble, and apparently he's doing a little bit of drugs too.
Well, I don't think he'd be effective in an octagon ring all hopped up on ketamine. That's not really going to work out.
No.
No, definitely not.
There's the memes that are like the picture of it's the Gulf of Mexico, but they're saying it's the Gulf of Taco with with SpaceX debris.
That's about it. I'm going to pull somebody else up here and see what's on their mind. Nay Lamb is the name. Here, Nay Lamb, how are you doing? What's on your mind today?
Oh.
Nothing apparently. Nothing apparently. Here's the thing. If you're online and watching, cool. You don't have to talk, but don't request to come on if you don't feel like coming on. There's no problem. You don't have to.
I saw my brother
ahead.
in here. I wonder if he requested.
What's his name?
Liam.
Yeah.
Not yet. Not yet. Oh, here's somebody that we've heard from before.
Well, in a little seriousness, how did everybody's primaries go? Ours was
Ours
pretty
went
interesting
great.
here.
Did that?
All the Democrats in our primary that we wanted basically won.
And we had a huge mayoral upset here.
Yeah, the incumbent Democrat mayor got run out by another Democrat, which
A woman.
Wow.
We
Run
a woman.
out
Yeah,
by a woman. And-
we did not
and he's-
expect that.
He was a benign mayor. Like, there was nothing wrong with him. And he got run out by a woman.
Wow. Well, it's good to see that people are trying to make some changes and not happy with the way things are going. It shouldn't be hard to do, but you know what the hell. We've got somebody up now, and I brought him up because he's been up before,
I like this guy.
and I happen to like his name as much as anybody's out there. Chat GPT. Chat, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Boomer. How you doing tonight?
Good. And when I call you Chat, I do it with all due respect.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. No, a couple things that came across my desk today. I don't remember the context of it, but Trump was saying that he got contacted by 100 governors, and I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, exactly.
100 governors.
100 governors.
100 governors, man.
Yeah, I know. That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, America's just getting bigger and bigger every time he thinks.
Even with Canada, we only have 51, right?
Yeah. Then the other thing that was funny is I saw that, he said that he would take a look at Pardon and Diddy. So I looked it up just out of curiosity. I said, pictures of Trump and Epstein. There's 204 pictures that come up. Then I did pictures of Trump and Diddy. 206 pictures came up. So he's actually had more pictures with Diddy than he had with Epstein.
They were buddy back in the Apprentice days, apparently.
He only wants a pardon for Diddy so he can get $1 million in crypto from Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, for the baby oil. Yeah. Well, you know what's funny about this is that a lot of people who know that Donald Trump and Jeff Epstein were close. A lot of people suggest that Trump was kind of a mentor to Jeffrey Epstein. He's older than Jeffrey Epstein was. And it's interesting that Jeffrey Epstein used blackmail to make most of his money. And then when you look at Diddy, maybe he was Diddy's mentor too, because blackmail came into play with what Diddy was doing as well. And we know that Donald Trump's not above blackmail. This is just a little group of people that are constantly blackmailing other people, and they're making tons of money from doing it.
Right.
Yeah,
The art of the con.
Yeah.
Say the funny thing was that the pictures are when Diddy was first famous. I mean, we're talking circa 89 to 92. I mean, these were old pictures, as well as when Donald Trump's hair started to change color and get lighter. But these are this has been a long time. These guys have been buddies and pals. And, he says he will not release those Epstein files because that could hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know who it'll hurt.
We know exactly who it'll hurt. But yeah, you can go ahead and drop me, Boomer. I just thought I'd let you know about the multitude and the plethora of photos that are out there of him with these two scumbags.
Well, have yourself a taco and get some rest.
I will do that. You do the same, man. Later.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Yep,
That's
bye.
Chat GPT. Love the name. I fucking love that name. Let's see who else we got here. Here's somebody I think we've had before. It's MEKS. We'll see if they come up. MEKS, are you there? And what's on your mind?
Oh,
God damn it.
another one.
I got people coming to me all the time. You never called me up. You never called me up. The ones that they're the ones that I know are going to do all right.
Right.
And I call them up, but I want to get some other people too. So,
I I saw British John in here earlier, but it's too early for that because
Yeah, I saw him too.
we don't want the live to be that short.
No, but here's somebody I know will talk, and he hasn't been in the live talking anyway much lately. But JD Farmer, what's up with you?
Oh, not a whole lot.
It's his happy birthday, John.
Birthday,
Oh,
pal.
thanks, man. Yeah.
So you're what are you 14 now?
Add 10 to that.
Okay,
24.
well,
You
well,
no longer
happy birthday.
introduce him as JD Farmer, the 23-year-old from Illinois. You now have to introduce him as JD Farmer, the 24-year-old.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, congratulations.
I'm putting JD out of business with my garden this year. I already
I
told
saw
him.
that. He was making me nervous.
JD, don't let him fool you. Our garden is dying on the vine because we have so much rain.
Oh, send some of that our way, would you? I tell you what, I haven't been to Taco Bell in 15 years. I went back yesterday,
Really?
though.
That's awesome.
That shit was awesome. And it's amazing to me, too. This didn't come from us. This came from Wall Street.
Right.
The rich and powerful people. This came from the people
Exactly.
this came from the group of people that Donald Trump has always wanted to be a part of.
Yeah. Well, it is, and he's been like that for a long. He wanted to be in the NFL. He wants to be a titan on Wall Street. He's never been able to do that, and now when they're calling him names, it is driving him nuts. I guarantee you, he's just flipping out. He's one of those guys, when it gets in his head, he can't get it out of his head. He can't set it aside. This is going to be something that's bugging him, and the tariff thing. Like somebody said before, he's probably going to double down, even though he knows it's going to be disastrous, but he's going to do it just to prove his point and show how tough he is.
Yep. And all those plastic gold spray painted fixtures in the Oval Office are all covered in ketchup now.
Yeah.
Also, actually, but yeah.
The good news is for you, JD, or anybody else, if you're, you haven't been eating too well lately and you feel a little backed up, all you have to do is go down to the local Taco Bell and order the extra large Trump taco, chicken style, and guaranteed you'll be shitting your pants like Donald Trump every fucking day.
That'll get you moving, yeah.
It's Cheeto Los Tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want a little extra fun, put the fire sauce on there.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's. Are you noticing anything with the tariffs or anything that's going on with China, in your farming community, JD?
I don't know. I mean, prices are not looking good, market wise, but I mean they never do.
Is this something you're not going to really realize until harvest time?
I get the idea that it'll become more apparent, yeah, because when prices usually go down anyway during harvest, it's because the market's flooded.
Right.
Yeah.
In the United States, but it's gonna be compounded and be a lot worse because of it. So we may not be feeling it right now, but
How close are you to that point where when you sell it, you lose money as opposed to making a little bit of money?
oh, we were there last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. Well, it's not because of tariffs, but just inputs were so high last year, and now inputs are still high and tariffs. So it's going to be another year of losing money probably.
What about this back and forth stuff? Tariffs on China are on, then they're off. Now he's mad that they violated a deal that they didn't even complete yet, and now he's going to do something different. This has got to drive farmers nuts, as well as Wall Street, to not really know what to plan for. I mean, even if you knew that it was going to be the worst, at least you could plan for it, and now you can't even do that.
Yeah, it's the same thing that Wall Street's dealing with. There's no dependability at all. So.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating. It's got to be hard. I'm going to pull somebody else up here. JD, you hang with us. I picked this person.
How you doing?
Michael, how you doing? What's on your mind today?
No, I was just trying to give a response relative to the topic.
Sure.
Relative to
Go ahead.
tariffs.
Feel free.
I think the tariffs aren't the problem. I think it's the Department of Government Efficiency and USAID literally being removed that has caused a lot of the issues relative to farming, farmers, and the money that is being brought by.
Well, you're right about that. You know, the tariffs are having an effect, and will have more of an effect when we realize those the damage from the tariffs. But you're absolutely right about USAID, and this is where the Republicans always miss out. They don't want to feed people in other countries, so they cut it off, and they think they're going to be draconian about it and not feed other countries. What they forgot was that those countries use that money that we sent them to buy products from our farmers. And you're right, that's the thing that's taken the immediate effect on what farmers are suffering with.
Well, that's exactly that was my point. My point, in case in point, was the fact that most of the USAID being cut across the board literally led to a lot of the industry within farming being cut, and the industry having the transition and capability of sending different products
Yeah,
to these countries.
absolutely.
It equals decreased compensation, decreased revenue, and so that's what I was throwing in there right now. But I'll let it go to somebody else. I'm just
All right, I appreciate it, Michael. Thank you. Thank you very much for your input, and join us anytime we're on with a live. We love to hear from you. Yeah, that's he's right about that. That we can blame as a lot of the farmers' pain on this canceling USAID. I got one for you, TJ. Finally, we're going to pull him up.
Oh my God,
Appar-
no, no.
Apparently, it's TJ the plumber's brother. So TJ's got his wife and his brother here. We're
Hey,
still waiting for Grandma to call. But Liam, what's on your mind?
You think you think Will is bad? Wait till you hear this.
Get out of here.
Hi, Leon.
Hey, hi. Hello, Rebecca. Hey, top of the taco evening to you. And Mike, you sound hella better.
I am better. I'm getting better every day. I don't know if it's allergies or what it is, but I've never had allergies before. But it's kind of weird. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. So yeah, I sound a little better. I try to
Much better.
talk a little lower because I got my granddaughter sleeping in the back room, and I'm trying not to strain my voice because after an hour it tends to go out on me. So I'm just kind of laying loads today.
Well, TJ, don't make me strain my voice.
Yeah. You
behave yourself
You strain
up
your
there.
own voice because you talk so much.
Now, Liam, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
If I understand this, TJ and you are brothers, correct?
Yes.
Okay, but you guys didn't know you were brothers until recently.
It's about 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
So, when you found out TJ was your brother, did you say, of all the motherfuckers in this country I could have as a brother secretly, and I get fucking TJ? Had to be disappointing
Absolutely.
for you, Liam.
Yeah, well, he's lucky he doesn't have my mother.
Well,
Yeah,
there's that.
she's a Trump fuck true and true.
Big time.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, I'm actually standing in the same spot in this living room facing the exact direction when about 8 years ago she goes, "I'm a Trumper." on the phone, and I just, I don't even know. The look on my face must have been just unreal when she said that.
Wow.
And it
How
was
do you
just
deal with her
downhill
now?
ever. Oh, I don't talk to her anymore.
Oh, great.
In fairness for explanation, we're half brothers.
That's right, but we never say that, though. Yeah.
Well, you just did. So you both have the same dad, different mothers.
Yeah, thankfully.
Okay.
For him,
Okay,
yeah, he's lucky. His mother was lovely. Mine's a complete moron.
Yeah, you know. It saved you money on Mother's Day. It saved you a little money there.
And my adopted mom, she's still living. She lives next door, and she's been wonderful to me. So yeah, she's my mom.
An adopted mom, you're talking unofficially adopted, right? It's just somebody.
No, I was adopted. They were.
Do you want me
Go
to Do you want me to explain it?
Yeah, please
Yeah, 'cause-
give the cliff notes because
Because it's going to go on a long time. If
Yeah,
he
because
explains it.
look, you got to explain it. Because look, I just did like 8 hours of mowing. Go ahead, TJ.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so
I'm tired.
the short explanation is that in like 1969, my dad got drafted to Vietnam, or our dad
Okay.
got drafted
Yeah.
to Vietnam, and so
Selfish.
yeah, so before he left for Vietnam, he was dating my mother, and then
Okay.
he disappeared for a while, and my mother was really upset about it, and in between when he was dating my mother, he started dating Liam's mother. And then he got drafted and he left for Vietnam. And while he was in
was on
Vietnam,
drugs.
he wrote my my mother, letters, and was like, "Hey, I messed up or whatever. Like, I want to come back and get back with you or whatever." So that's what happened. But he didn't know that before he left, Liam's mother was pregnant with him.
Yeah.
Oh.
So my dad came back from Vietnam, and apparently, I don't know, I can't verify this for sure, but supposedly Liam's mother wrote him a letter while he was deployed, saying that she was pregnant and she was having a kid, and my dad kind of blew it off or whatever.
Well, no,
Did
I
they-
think she showed up, but she never showed because I was a runt.
Right,
Yeah,
still
she
are.
didn't- so well, you know what? I put that woman through 9 hours I think it was 13 hours of hard labor. So
Well-
I did get even with her.
Yeah, couldn't happen to a better person. But in any event, my dad didn't believe it, and so fast forward, to 2019, right? He sends me this message on Facebook Messenger, telling me all this big long story about what happened. And I'm like, yeah, right. I'm like, when I get to the bottom of this message, this guy's going to ask me to send a
Nigerian
check.
scammer.
Send me a check to Nigeria, But then here's the thing. Then I looked at his picture and I was like, holy shit. So at that time, my mother was still alive. And I told my mother about it. And I sent her a picture because she didn't believe me. She's like, yeah, right, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? And I sent her the picture and she was like, oh, because Liam looks like my dad. I don't look like my dad at all. I look like my grandfather. So
Yeah.
my mother was like, oh my God, I believe that. Like that's, it's kind of the abridged version of the story, but
Yeah. Just
it
let
was-
us know when you want to hear the full story. I can always come back on.
No, we don't have to get the full story.
Is your dad still alive?
No.
He's not.
No,
'Cause that's a motherfucker I want to get on the show.
Well, that's what I'm pissed about, that I can't ask him any questions about it.
Yeah. Everybody loved him too.
Everyone loved my dad.
Apparently.
dad.
Yeah, my dad.
Apparently everybody
His
loves him.
dad.
I'd stay off Facebook. God knows what you'll come up with next.
Right. Yeah, no shit.
Well, I stopped talking to my Trump-la-fuck mom, or well, she's actually the receptacle, is what I started calling her. It was like a vending machine. She just kind of vended me into the world, So,
Wow.
because she's not my mother. She's not my mother. And when we used to talk, she used to start, saying, I'm your mother, and this and that. But she's a racist piece of shit. She hates blacks and Mexicans. Like at her job that she used to have, she'd be like, they're giving all my hours to the black lady. The black lady's getting all my hours. Why don't you just say they're giving all my hours to Julie or Mary or something? She's one of those people that have to emphasize it's the black lady. And so, yeah, I stopped talking to her in 2023, but I made her a deal. Because Mexicans are stealing all her jobs. So I offered to fly her for free out to Santa Barbara. And then we'd get a car and drive down to Oxnard, California, where I went to college. And that's where all the strawberry fields are. So
What a
I
waste
gave her
of
this.
money that was.
Well, yeah, shut up. So anyway, yeah, I offered her a free trip to Santa Barbara, a free car down to Oxnard, where she could pick strawberries all day long with her white, efficient 72-year-old fingers until she's pacified, that she's, gotten her job back from the Mexicans.
Wow.
But she declined me. She declined it.
Yeah.
No deal.
Yeah,
Of course they do.
Yeah, it was such a good offer too, because I would have paid for the whole thing.
Because it's all about hating brown people. It's not about...
That's it.
No, nobody's taking her job from her that's a Mexican.
No.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, she's stupid. She's a reflection of Donald Trump. She's a malignant narcissist, so, they're reflections of each other. They hate the same thing, So you're either a billionaire looking for your next tax break, or you're just, hating the same, the same things as he does. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Liam, were you disappointed after November 5th to find out just how many people are racist?
don't
Don't get me started on it. I'll give you the condensed version. Huh? Go ahead, Rebecca. What'd she say?
I don't know what
a subject to bring up right now.
Oh. Well, no, that's not what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about how I drank an entire gigantic bottle of wine, and then I was so fucking angry I trashed my entire bar here. There was glass everywhere. I probably should have went and got stitches. I was livid. About it. I had to stay in bed for like 2 days and just curl up in a ball.
You took it kind of hard.
Yeah, I hate Donald Trump with every bone in my body, more than TJ.
He's not lying about that.
You hate Donald Trump more than you hate TJ, or more than TJ hates Donald Trump?
More than TJ hates Donald Trump.
I didn't think
Gotcha.
that was possible.
That's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot.
It's a lot.
That's saying something.
Yeah, I still got a wine stain. I slammed what was left of my wine glass on the ground here. There's still a stain on the wall that needs to be painted.
In all fairness, Liam lives there's not a single non-Trump-la-fuck around him anywhere.
It's pretty heavy. I live in West Central Washington State, Lewis County.
Oh.
I call it Loser County, and it's just like the Trump-la-fuck capital of Washington State. It's the most conservative county in Washington.
So I'm guessing you don't get invited to the block parties much.
Oh, no, I stay away from all that. Now, I have some new neighbors that just moved in through the woods, and they turned out to be awesome. They hate Donald Trump, too.
Nice.
So, I'm content with that, and they're really good to me. Oh, they're Mexican, too, by the way.
There's always a blue dot in a red area,
Yeah.
Yeah, no question.
That's
no
me.
question.
You gotta
Well,
find
Liam, thanks for coming on. We were anxious to hear from you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I figured I'd try it because TJ was bugging the crap out of me to go on TikTok for how long now, and this is the first time
3 years?
Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of warming up to China now, I was kind of like, I don't know about TikTok, but,
Yeah,
I think
you were a pussy ass bitch about it for fucking 3 years.
But I like I like the fact that they're not going to put up with his shit. So, yeah, I've changed my tune.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're taking him to task right now.
Yeah.
It's the best.
fairness, they've got their own shit, but as long as they're pushing the back against our shit, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
That's all you can
Mike,
do.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, thanks for having me on. And, And
No, thank
this is
you.
my inaugural guest appearance on TikTok.
Well, you're welcome back anytime, whether TJ's here or not, but chances are TJ will be here because they're my moderators. So
Yeah.
you're welcome back anytime, Liam. We'd
Thanks,
love to hear
Mike.
from you.
Nice to meet you.
We
Yeah,
don't really love
likewise.
to. We don't really love to hear from you, but okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Love you,
Just
Liam.
love y'all.
Talk to you later. That's Liam. That's TJ's brother. And we know it's TJ's brother because they just found out 8 years ago. And these guys are in their 40s. So what the hell? Let's pull somebody else up. This is Rumor. I don't know if we've talked to Rumor before. Rumor, you're on, and what's on your mind?
A whole lot.
Okay, give it to us.
It just amazes me how they can keep getting away with stuff, how they move the goalpost, how they blame every minority under the
Yeah.
sun except for, you know, how they go after drag queens, but they won't go after the Proud Boys. How they go after
Right.
drag queens, but they won't go after the Ku Klux Klan neo-Nazis. And even when I see more news stories, whether it be on local news, which doesn't happen very often, or even through TikTok, which I see it a lot more often through TikTok because they don't really censor it because that's where we get all the news from, either out of our country or even in our country, about
Right.
how these youth pastors and people in certain positions of power are sexually abusing minors, and they just
Yeah.
gloss over it. And speaking, because I am a gay person myself, it is
Mm-hmm.
maddeningly frustrating. And I say that with as it's even an understatement, because getting through to some of my family who have fallen into this MAGA echo chamber, I just it boils my blood.
Yeah. It always amazes me how Republicans have this hard on for the gay folks, and I don't mean it to be funny. That's the word I
Positive.
came up with.
Absolute
But I don't
positive.
understand that because I know hundreds of people, most of which are heterosexual, but many are homosexual too.
Hmm.
And not once did I ever think to ask what they got going on in their sex life. Because some of these
Yeah.
heterosexual fuckers are freaky motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Farm animals, furries, all that stuff. I don't care what they're doing. So why would I care what a gay person is doing?
Right.
Right.
It just
How
doesn't
does
make any sense. Don't tell me the
yeah.
Bible says it's bad because they also
Don't
said
yeah.
adulterers should be stoned. So let's take it all the way if we're going to do that.
Right.
Oh,
And
I
well,
love
Lindsey
using
Graham
the Bible.
definitely does.
I love
Yeah.
using the Bible against them. You know, the whole let he who cast the first stone. And, you know, I mean, it's great that I don't read the Bible a lot. I was given a Bible from my grandfather who passed because he knew that it would come in handy to be used against the thumpers.
Right.
And I love using scripture against them. Don't get me wrong, but my favorite thing to say back to them is, well, even the devil can quote scripture.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And half these people, that tell us that the Bible says this and that, they didn't read it.
They don't
They
believe
heard
it.
it from somebody else and they're just
Yeah.
quoting it. And it's
I have a
probably
comment.
incorrect.
I have a comment and a question for Rumor.
Yes.
My question is, so you're the like people who are like super MAGA supporters, were they ever supportive of you coming out to begin with, or have they always been against it?
At the beginning, no. It took a few years of no contact and then a few therapy sessions for me to call them out on it, but with like a third party there, like a mediator.
Right.
And I even had to call them out on that it took a mediator, someone with a psychology degree or a degree of some sort to tell them, you know, you are misinterpreting this. You need to let him live his life as he expresses it freely as we do. And it took the no contact, it took the therapy session for them to be supportive. And
Right.
don't get me wrong, I still call them out on some comments they make, whether they're watching Fox News and other things that come to mind. I'm the educator, and I'm okay with that because I'm educating them from my perspective. But I still call them out on the time that it took for them to be supportive because I always tell them, like, I'm still the same person. What is it your business of who is in my bed? Because
Yeah.
you're not in my bed. You're not in my house. You're in your own.
Why?
Stay in
Well,
your own
exactly.
lane.
Why did you love and support me before you knew, and you don't love and support me now that you know that? That's
What? Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's what I mean. Like, what changed? Is it because that
Well,
I'm related to you by blood? Okay, so
well,
why
yeah.
can't you use a little bit of that for some other people? You know, just because you want uniformity, I don't see it. I don't care for that. I think that's boring.
Yeah. Well, as a heterosexual guy, I'm trying to imagine that every time I talk to a family member, they were going to question me about my sex life. I'd say, fuck you. None of your
Right.
goddamn business. In fact, I said that one time to a couple I was talking to, and they were talking about how they hated LGBTQ and it's against the Bible and all that stuff. And I said, well, okay, fair enough. You don't agree with that.
And
But
now,
what kind of kinky stuff do you do? Well, I mean, what do you fuckers do in the bedroom?
and now the
You
goalpost
got
has
swings and
moved.
shit?
The
Right,
goalpost has moved to trans people. And I'm like, it's the
right.
same old thing. It went from back in the 40s, 50s, 60s. It went from African American, from them, segregation. Oh, think
Right.
about the children. And then it went to gays in the 70s.
Right.
Remember Anita Bryant?
Right.
And all the way up until the 90s, 2000s, until gay marriage was legal. Now it's trans people.
Right. And isn't it ironic that every time they have a convention, they crash the Grinder app?
I know, right? Like every RNC, every
That
RNC
that's
crashed.
crazy.
Yeah, they are
Well,
so deep in the closet they're finding Christmas presents from 20 years ago.
Yep.
I mean, but like you say, they transition from black folks to maybe Hispanic folks to gay
And
people to
immigrants too.
transgender
Yeah.
and immigrants. But what's next?
Whatever,
What are they
whatever,
going?
whatever small
What are they going to
community
get?
can marginalize to deflect, and it is
Yeah,
is what they're going to do.
Well,
I can't wait. I can't wait till they get to the Czechoslovakian auto mechanics. Those motherfuckers, they need to change
Right?
their ways.
well, they like to progress onto the weakest group. You know,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
it started with the blacks, like we just talked about, and so the black population is growing, right?
yeah.
So now they're not the target anymore because they're not the weakest group. Then it moved on to gays, and they attacked the gays. In the 1980s, their big propaganda thing. Blaming HIV on the gays.
Yep.
We know the whole drill, and then it progressed, and now it's up to it was Hispanic people, and it kind of still is Hispanic people. Well, it's brown
Yeah.
people. They don't necessarily have to be Hispanic. Brown people, but the Hispanic population again does a lot for America. I mean,
They do.
they do migrant workers do the farming. They're involved in
They do the work that they don't want to do
right,
themselves.
but they're not the weakest group anymore. So now that the trans people are only less than basically 1% of the population, they're the weakest group. So they're the easy target. They're the
yeah.
easy target now.
They're too strong to be in sports, but too weak to be in the military.
And that's the tenet of fascism right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's also the essence of being a bully.
Yeah.
Pick the weakest person, beat them up, and try to make yourself look good in the process.
And blame it on them.
It's not until somebody fights back that they back off themselves.
Well,
They
that's their de facto go-to, thing. Every single time you show them that Donald Trump is a criminal or whatever, they automatically pivot to trans. Automatic.
Right.
It's the first thing they fucking do.
Oh, like this Riley
Yeah.
Gaines who came in fifth and lost to a trans athlete by just a margin. Riley
Yeah.
Gaines came in sixth because this trans Olympic athlete came in fifth. She lost fifth place. Now they're saying she could have won. Like, no, no, no. She could have won fifth. Fifth is still
Right.
not winning. You get a participation trophy at best.
Right.
Right.
And I always
That's
like
not
to
even a
remind them
bronze
too.
medal.
Yeah. And I
Their
love to
whole
remind them
point,
too.
their whole point with that is that men are superior. Because do you see any them picking on any women who have become men trans athletes
No.
that win anything? No, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, they're
Because-
superior.
No.
because that was a woman, so she can't possibly be superior.
Yeah, they're superior. I'll get in
And
I'll get in the octagon ring with Mike Johnson any day of the week.
Well, he's probably on Grindr, so you might want to get in line.
I'll
so.
get in the octagon ring with Mike Johnson any day in the week.
I believe that's a legit fight right there.
Someday,
Yeah.
And
you can get in the ring with that Raylo dude that was challenging liberals.
Yeah.
See that shit?
Oh yeah, fuck that guy.
and
That
no
guy's a
trans
fucking
person will
clown.
literally walk into a bathroom and tell them, "I'm trans." No,
I want to see Good Trouble whoop that dude's ass. That's
Oh
what
my
I
God,
want to
yeah.
see.
I'll get the
Dude,
popcorn.
Thorin Bradley offered to do it.
Mhm.
That would have been awesome.
I have popcorn.
I'm always amazed by people on TikTok. I've been on TikTok long enough, and there are certain boundaries you want to do or things you don't want to do. First of all, you don't want to get emotional and just say anything because it will come
Right.
back at you. But when you say something like this Ray did, well, I'll fight any liberal. I mean, the point of what he's doing is just about trying to get clout, trying to get views, trying to get followers, trying to
It's
make
clickbait.
noise. It is,
Right.
and there are Democrats that do that too. I wanted to bring something
yeah.
up. I brought this up on the podcast yesterday, I think, but we're seeing a lot of mainstream media coming to YouTube and TikTok and that sort of thing. You got Don Lemon, you got all the rest, Katie Fang, but Chris Cizilla came to Independent, and he spent three videos saying I'm independent and this is better because of this. He's promoting himself, and that's fine. But he was arguing a point that really kind of pissed me off. He said Democrats are saying that Donald Trump's cognitive ability is diminishing, and he says
are.
I say it's not. And this was his argument. He said Donald Trump says crazy shit now, but in the 80s he said the same kind of crazy shit. In the 90s, in the 2000s. So he isn't diminishing. You stupid motherfucker. You know what he didn't do? Mispronounce every other word he said.
Yeah,
Or
and
go
they didn't
off on
walk in,
tangents.
and
He didn't
walk
walk
into a
into
fucking
that.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
But
sit
see-
on towels because he is incontinent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's what frustrates me, though. Somebody like this comes on to independent media from mainstream media, and
yeah.
he's trying to play the same game, trying to ride the fence so that he can get the Republicans and the Democrats. It's all about views and followers with him, and that's the thing. And maybe I'm biased because I don't really care. I just do what I do, and followers come, they come. If they don't, they don't. But these people are taking the practices of mainstream media and trying to apply it on independent media. And I just don't want to see those fuckers come ruin this situation. Because
Right.
first of all, they don't need
Right.
to. Second of all, it's annoying.
Well,
People like
he's-
this piss me off.
It's no different than that dickhead Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's the same shit. It's just about views and followers
about-
and likes.
It's about talking fast to sound intelligent.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro, same fucking asshole.
Oh, and him and Nick Fuentes. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
It makes you wonder how much of it they actually believe themselves and how much of it is a power and money grab or just popularity grab for now, and they'll walk it back at some point.
For Charlie Kirk, I believe it's a popularity grab. It always
Right.
has been. with
Yeah,
him.
I think so too.
Charlie Kirk is terrified of a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah.
They'll debate
yeah, he
teenagers
is.
fresh out of
There
college,
is.
but when he went to Cambridge, he got his ass handed to him.
That was amazing.
Oh my God, it was fantastic.
Yeah, he got his ass beat.
Yeah, that's the other thing that bothers me about TikTok too is you'll get some of the liberal people that every day, and I know Dean does this, but every day they debate Trump-la-fucks, and I don't understand the point. It's always the same shit. It's always that the Republican doesn't learn anything. It's just all about sucking people in because they want to see the fight. That's why I don't have Trump-la-fucks on too
Well,
much, because it's really a pointless practice.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to disagree with that a little bit because
Not surprised. You do every live.
because I watch a lot of Dean's content just because I think he's
He's good.
yeah, he's good. He's a very articulate guy.
Extremely intelligent and articulate guy.
And so he does get these people on there, and then he gives them, like, you're right. Some of them are just stupid and they just disappear, right? Because Dean proves them wrong, and that's the end of it, right? But some
Right.
of them, he shows them the facts or the evidence, and they're like, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
You know-
some of those moments I like are when they go,
Right. Those are the
"Oh."
best. His videos of those are the best. Like,
Yes.
that
You have to
person
remember
walks
a
away.
lot of them too.
Right. That person walks away
Well,
like
it's-
it's like I'm. They're like they're speechless and apologetic because they didn't know.
It's because they watch like podcasters like Joe
Yes.
Rogan who just simply
Well-
quote unquote ask questions.
And
like,
you have
they're
to
not calling out the
understand that
bad
Dean-
questions.
Dean is reaching. Sorry, JD. I know you're younger and but you're smarter than most of the younger generation. But Dean is reaching not our generation. Like he's reaching
that's
those
true.
younger people. Like he really is. I have a lot of friends that I work with that are like, we only watch Dean. We love Dean.
Yeah.
We love Dean. And that's huge. That may
I
have been
get-
the reason that their politics are the way their politics are.
Right.
Because of Dean.
I give Dean a lot of credit in Parker, and there's a couple other ones that they're really doing the right thing. I mean,
Harry, what's it?
Harry,
Yeah.
Dean, Parker, those guys are all young guys that are appealing to a younger generation of kids.
Well,
If that's the case, that's valuable.
It is valuable.
It
Very valuable.
even if they don't walk away like convinced of Dean's argument, what they do is it makes them think a little bit about it. And if you can
They
get
still-
them to actually think a little bit, then that helps chip away at it. So they know.
I learned a
It's a
lesson about
takeaway.
this, and if you're trying to get followers and views, those debates work, and I'll explain to you how. I've had Trump-la-fucks on the show a couple times, and it was very satisfying while they were there because they were dumb, and it was easy to rip them apart, and it was very satisfying for people to listen to it because finally somebody's doing what they should do with Trump-la-fucks, something that the media is not doing. But after it's done, I get comment after comment. Oh, Mike, I couldn't listen to it. I just couldn't listen to it. It was too much. I couldn't listen to it. But those podcasts I did have the largest numbers of views I've ever done.
Right.
They don't want to hear it, but it's like a train wreck. They got to stop and watch. And
Right.
if that's what you want to do, that's fine. To me, what I'm trying to do, instead of fighting against people that you can't convince of anything, I look at what I'm doing as more a rallying point for people of a good mind, and hopefully that gives us some power by having large numbers of poop. Wow.
What were
I'll
you? Were you with Junie today?
Well, actually I was. I was going to tell people that as I speak, as far as I know, my daughter-in-law is in labor right now with my son.
Oh.
And Junie's staying overnight. We got an overnight gig, a slumber party here at the house.
Now we know why you're talking about poop.
I was
Yeah.
just wondering that today, when she was due, because I knew it was soon. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
well,
awesome.
well, I will have you know, Junie's 5 now, and we don't discuss poop anymore. We've got bigger, more complex issues to discuss.
So you're not a poop.
but-
You're not a poopy butt anymore.
No, but she's still. The thing about this kid, I give people shit. I give TJ shit all the time.
Yes.
This kid is she looks like my wife, which is a good thing, and she acts like me. I'll give you an example of what kind of kid she is. We're playing Uno. She's good at playing Uno, and she will save up the bad cards up until the time she can pass them to me. She takes great joy in just hammering the shit out of me, which I think she gets from her
Grandma's
grandma.
safe.
Yeah, I think grandma has some impact there. But anyway,
Before you let rumor go, so my comment that I would make is, I think for Pride Month, you guys should all have shirts that say "Pride Boys, not Proud Boys," and that may have already been taken, but I think that's.
It's possible. I've been trying to think of a few things myself. But what I do in the Pride Parade here is I volunteer to help carry the flags as part of the LGBTQ Army vets. You know, the military
wow.
vets, the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy, and I help out at their tent. I help out as much as I can because it just goes to show, even way back in World War One, World War Two, any war we fought, we have always been here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just
And-
haven't always had a voice.
Exactly, and we're not going back. And my
Where
favorite
you
quote
from,
that I
Rumor?
still use from Harvey Milk is, "You just got to give them hope."
Are you a New York City boy?
I am in Indiana.
which is just like New York City.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
More
As long
red.
as you're not in Gary.
Yeah.
Sadly,
Yeah.
more red.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Rumor, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
We're getting down toward the end of things here, but I thank you for coming on.
Sure thing, anytime.
All right. That is Rumor, and we get a lot of great people that come on here. Here's one other one that has been on before. I know they've been on before, but with a name like Redacted, could be a problem. But Redacted, how are you doing?
I'd be doing a lot better if old Dumpy Trump wasn't president. How are you guys?
Oh, about the same.
We can agree. We can agree.
Yeah. I came up to comment on what you said about the the deans and the kind of the blood sport debate thing, right?
Yeah.
I agree with the premise of what you're saying. I really do. That it's not long-term beneficial to do it because they're too fucking stupid to do it anyway. I get it. I agree.
Yeah.
However, one, exactly what you said, it brings people of a like mind together and it lets them watch the train wreck, right? And two, kind of a leg off of one, it's therapeutic. Both for
It is.
the person doing the debating and those watching. It's therapeutic. With as dense as these people tend to be, statistically, and as much damage as they manage to cause, yeah, it's a little fun.
Well, here's the thing, Redacted. When I'm doing it, you're right. It is cathartic. It makes me feel good. And I know it makes people who listen to it feel good because these people have been doing it to Democrats for decades. And when somebody does it back to them, it is satisfying. But I will tell you this: after you do it and you put it up, I feel kind of dirty. And I feel like I've kicked a puppy around the room because they're not even much competition, to be honest with you.
You don't even know what's happening. They don't know why.
No.
Yeah.
And Brian Wallenberg just looks stupid in his garage.
Oh,
so.
dude.
Yeah,
I had to take a shower after I watched that.
I did too. I'm going, wow, why did I do that? I felt like a bully. But my premise has always been I will be a bully against other bullies. But that's it. But it is, it just seems dumb that you even have to do this. If I sat and told my kids things and they didn't grasp it after an hour and a half, I don't know what the hell I would do. I would feel like I was a failure.
Mm-hmm.
But, Redacted, have you ever had the opportunity to sit down and enter into a battle of wits with an unarmed man, so to speak?
Daily, Boomer.
Daily?
Daily, yes, unfortunately.
My kind of guy.
So you wade right in. And you'll argue with him?
I do, because it keeps me from committing felonies.
Well,
That's legit.
Right?
I feel that.
Yeah.
It's cracking the lid on the Dr. Pepper bottle.
Yeah. Well, how do they react? I mean, do any of these people get real angry and or violent? Are you a big guy or what's the deal?
Oh, you mean personally, like as in in person?
Right.
I have with family. I have with a few randoms. I've had mixed reactions. Why do you ask? It's mainly either deflection in the form of anger, or it's mostly hostility. It's mostly anger.
Well, but do you ever get the point where they try to flip the script a little bit? Because I get that from time to time. That because I don't yell and scream, but I make them look stupid because it's not hard. I'm just exposing what their natural tendency is. But then they play the victim. Oh, you're mean. You're crazy. You're out of control. And I'm not out of control. I'm talking like this.
Such an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do with them is be calm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Throws them off. Give them their own facts and be calm.
Yeah, give them the rope. Give them the rope to hang themselves, because it'll happen every time.
Generally, they'll just stop talking to you and move on. But
So, Rumor, when you said you were arguing with people daily, I from what you just said, I get you're kind of in TJ's camp where you'll find yourself in a Trump-la-fuck live or something like that, and you'll go head-to-head online with them. Is that what you were talking about?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. This is actually my nightly routine. I'm sitting here playing the new Elden Ring game right now, and none of the good circuses are on right now, and I've always listened to you. I just didn't think I would actually get up. It's kind of an honor.
Well, that's not an honor. I mean, we like having as many people.
We're just we're just regular people out here.
I got to tell you, people say, don't say too much, you'll swell his head. All I have to do is get in and walk in another room, and my head deflates. Talking to my wife or my kids
or your granddaughter,
my 5-year-old granddaughter. Yeah, there's no room for ego in this house for me anyway.
That reminds, I think it was a couple years ago, but Robert Downey Jr.'s Oscar acceptance speech, along the same lines. His first line is, "I'd like to thank Susan Downey for continuing to tell me that I would never be able to do it. It really helps me along the way."
Yeah, exactly. For me, when my family gives me shit, it's not something that hurts me because everybody in my family gives each other shit. So it's just insults are our love language, I guess, and so I appreciate it more than I'm hurt by it.
Yeah. Try living with TJ.
There you go. And this is why, Rebecca, people have said to me, why do you pick on TJ so much? I said, well, because he's asking for it. That's fucking why. But he knows how to play the game. So
he gives as good as he gets, I can tell you. And I give it right back to him, but
he's more than welcome to give me shit back, and he does. Like I said, every live, he says, I got to disagree with you. Now, if I was Donald Trump, you'd be in fucking El Salvador. But I'm not. But no, I encourage people to give me shit. It's if I'm giving somebody shit, that means I like them.
That's a huge character strength when you can take it and give it, and that just means you're an all around good person. And when you can't, you give somebody shit and they can't take it, you know their strength of character immediately.
But here's where it goes awry for me sometimes. Giving people shit is a aptitude I have, a pretty good aptitude with it. So when somebody gives me shit, then I give it back to them. And since I'm pretty good at it, people go, "Oh, he can't take it." Nah, I'm just welcoming the competition. Let's go, man. I'm cool with it. Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was about to say.
Exactly.
This is a back and forth. Why did you come into this not expecting a rebuttal? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, yeah. I've talked about this before too. People will come to me and say, why do you believe you're right and this other person is wrong? Why can't you compromise? And it's impossible to compromise between decency and evil.
You
There
know
is
why?
no compromise there.
Facts, motherfucker, and good versus evil.
Yeah. Yeah. But people will say to me, well, you're going to get them all charged up. I say, he came to me first. Don't say something stupid to me and expect me not to respond. If you don't like what I respond, just don't fucking talk to me. But that's the thing is, if you push back on somebody and they get angry, then people give you shit for making this guy angry. I'm sorry, man.
Wording it. Yep.
That's just too fucking bad. If you're going to get angry, you fucking deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. Well, I'm going to wrap up this live in the Rational Boomer podcast. Redacted. Thank you very much for coming on. You're welcome back anytime. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It was fun.
I've got to get down to business and catch up on the shit I'm going to get. So I will be doing that after I shut this down. TJ, Rebecca, who else was on here? JD Farmer. We've had a bunch of people on it, and thank you all for coming on and making this much easier for me and making it interesting to listen to. I appreciate it immensely. Those of you listening, thank you for taking the time. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Night.
Good night.
Okay, bye.